Welcome back, Love Nation. This is Nina. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you to everybody that has been coming to my channel. Like this video, share this video, and hit that notification bell so you guys know when I drop my next one. Listen, you guys, this entire election season has literally become a dumpster fire. I am going to play some of the remarks from President Biden as well as ex President Trump that they made during that hot mess debate. Then I'm going to come back with why George Clooney is now speaking out in an article saying that Biden needs to withdraw. I'm going to play this right now as a short clip, and let's go.
We've made significant progress from the debacle that was left by President Trump in his last term. We find ourselves in a situation where, number one, we have to make sure that we have a fair tax system. I ask anyone out there in the audience or anyone out watching this debate, do you think the tax system is fair? The fact is that I said nobody even making under $400,000 had a single penny increase in their taxes, and will not. And if I'm reelected, that'll be the case again. But this guy has increased your taxes because of the deficit. Number one, he's increased inflation because of the debacle he left after the way he handled the pandemic. And he finds himself in a position where he now wants to tax you more by putting a 10% tariff on everything that comes into the United States of America. What I did, for example, he wants to get rid of the ability of Medicare for us to be able to negotiate drug prices with the big pharma companies. Well, guess what? We got it down to $35 for insulin instead of $400. No more than $2,000 for every senior, no matter how much prescription they need. You know what that did? That reduced the federal debt by $160 billion over 10 years because the government doesn't have to pay the exorbitant prices. I'm going to make that available to every senior all along, and it's happening now, and everybody in America. He wants to get rid of that. I'm going to make sure that we have child care. We're going to significantly increase the credit people have for child care. I'm going to make sure we do something about what we're doing on lead pipes and all the things that are causing health problems for people across the country. We're going to continue to fight to bring down inflation and give people a break.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump, you now have 2 minutes for your closing statement.
Like so many politicians, this man is just a complainer. He said, we want to do this, we want to do that, we want to get rid of this tax, that tax. But he doesn't do anything. All he does is make our country unsafe by allowing millions and millions of people to pour in. Our military doesn't respect him. We look like fools in Afghanistan.
Okay, so you guys just heard those brief clips, and as you guys listened, you can tell that President Joe Biden was really having a hard time focusing in and being very strong with his remarks versus how Trump came in with his statements. Now, at this point, you guys, I just feel like, there's like 300 million people in this country, and for this to be the best representation that we can get for people that would like to be president is, in my opinion, unacceptable. And this has nothing to do with, actually, this has a lot to do with both major political parties. I do feel that we should have been able to have more candidates, more forums, more discussions with people, more direct dialogue with people who want to run this country, because honestly, once you leave it up to lobbyists or people to just project whom they would like to be in charge, this is what you get. Now, I don't know how this is going to end up, but there's been a lot of mudslinging on the Democratic end for basically President Joe Biden to step down. Okay? And like I said, you have VP Harris up there. Does that mean that she should step down too? Do they have to rearrange the whole ticket? I mean, where is this going? I just feel like as a voter, we have not been afforded the opportunity to be able to weigh in to this situation. Now, I'm about to read this article from George Clooney, and I think that he kind of summed up what a lot of people have been thinking. What really surprised me about this is that, it's more than apparent that a lot of people behind the scenes are definitely losing trust in Biden and his health and, what people are actually seeing. Uh, Basically, maybe he should just step down and just let other people take over. And I just wish that more information could have been released to the public. We're not babies. We understand. We get it. He's been in service of the United States for well over 50 years. I mean, at what point does this man even get to retire? I mean, this whole situation is just crazy. And, this entire narrative is just a dumpster fire. I'm about to read this article, and like I said, I just want everybody to speak up in the comments about how they feel this election is actually going. Because even at this point, even if you want to introduce someone this late before the election, I don't even think people will have enough time to really get to know someone to even make an informed decision about them. So this is a mess. I'm going to play this clip, y'all. Share your comments below. Article with George Clooney, and it's titled I Love Joe Biden, but we need a new nomination. Again, this will be the full article so you guys can form your own opinion concerning this situation. This article goes on to say, I am a lifelong Democrat. I make no apologies for that. I'm proud of what my party represents and what it stands for. As part of my participation in the democratic process and in support of my chosen candidate, I have led some of the biggest fundraisers in my party's history. Barack Obama in 2012, Hillary Clinton in 2016, Joe Biden in 2020. Last month, I hosted the single largest fundraiser supporting any Democratic candidate ever for President Biden's reelection. I say all of this only to express how much I believe in this process and how profound I think this moment is. I love Joe Biden as a senator, as a vice president, and as president. I consider him a friend, and I believe in him, believe in his character, believe in his morals. In the last 4 years, he's won many of the battles he's faced. But the one battle he cannot win is the fight against time. None of us can. It's devastating to say it, but the Joe Biden I was with 3 weeks ago at the fundraiser was not the Joe Big Effing Deal Biden of 2010. He wasn't even the Joe Biden of 2020. He was the same man we all witnessed at the debate. Was he tired? Yes. A cold? Maybe. But our party leaders need to stop telling us that 51 million people didn't see what we just saw. We're all so terrified by the prospect of a second Trump term that we've opted to ignore every warning sign. The George Stephanopoulos interview only reinforced what we saw the week before. As Democrats, we collectively hold our breath or turn down the volume whenever we see the president, whom we respect, walk off Air Force One or walk back to the mic to answer an unscripted question. Is it fair to point these things out? It has to be. This is about age, nothing more, but also nothing that can be reversed. We are not going to win in November with this president. On top of that, we won't win the House. We're going to lose the Senate. This isn't only my opinion. This is the opinion of every senator and congress member and governor who I've spoken to in private. Every single one, irrespective of what he or she is saying publicly. And this is the part where I felt like he actually was throwing everybody else under the bus when I read this particular paragraph. So let's keep going. We love to talk about how the Republican Party has ceded all power and all the traits that made it so formidable with Ronald Reagan and George H.W. Bush to a single person who seeks to hold on to the presidency. And yet, most of our members of Congress are opting to wait and see if the dam breaks. But the dam has broken. We can put our heads in the sand and pray for a miracle in November, or we can speak the truth. It is disingenuous at best to argue that Democrats have already spoken with their vote and therefore the nomination is settled and done, when we just received now an upsetting information. We all think Republicans should abandon their nominee now. He's been convicted of 34 felonies. That's new and upsetting information as well. Top Democrats Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, Nancy Pelosi, and senators, representatives, and other candidates who face losing in November need to ask this president to voluntarily step aside. All of the scary stories that were being told about what would happen next are simply not true. In all likelihood, the money in the Biden-Harris coffers will go to help elect the presidential ticket and other Democrats. The nominees wouldn't be left off ballots in Ohio. We Democrats have a very exciting bench. We don't anoint leaders or fall sway to a cult of personality. We vote for a president we can easily foresee a group of strong Democrats stepping forward to stand and tell us why they're best qualified to lead this country and take on some of the deeply concerning trends we're seeing from the revenge tour that Donald Trump calls a presidential campaign. Let's hear from Wes Moore, Kamala Harris, Gretchen Whitmer, and Gavin Newsom, and Andy Beshear, and J.B. Pritzker, and others. Let's agree that the candidates not attack one another, but in the short time we have, focus on what will make this country soar. Then we could go into the Democratic convention next month and figure it out. Would it be messy? Yes. But it would enliven our party and wake up voters who long before the June debate had already checked out. It sure would. The short ramp to election day would be a benefit for us, not a danger. It would give us the chance to showcase the future without so much opposition, research, and negative campaigning that comes with these ridiculously long and expensive election seasons. This can be an exciting time for democracy. As we've just seen with the 200 or so French candidates who stepped aside and put their personal ambitions on hold to save their democracy from the far right. Joe Biden is a hero. He saved democracy in 2020. We need him to do it again in 2024. So this is the full article, you guys, that George Clooney wrote for the New York Times that has gone viral. Are other celebrities feeling like this? Do you guys feel like the candidate Joe Biden needs to be replaced? I definitely want to know what you guys think. I also want to know what you guys think about VP Harris stepping up to fill in for Biden. So share your comments respectfully below, you guys. Like, share, subscribe. Till next time, enjoy your day. Be safe. Bye, guys.